Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Compact Claustrophobia. I had a little bit of time to spare in between episodes here, so I did a little bit of work. And we basically now have HOP graphite ingots pretty much automated. It all starts here in the tree farm room, where we have a duct right over there on top with a servo that is extracting into a tunnel on the wall. And then if we head outside, we have the compact machine for the tree farm right here. And then that tunnel is extracting into this item duct and into a strong box. It has to be an inventory here on this side. It didn't work directly with a conduit for some reason, or with an item duct. So we have a strong box in between, and then another servo that it extracts into here, which hooks up over to this item duct. Ow. And you can see that was a coal coke that just went in. It goes into this strong box, get extracted into the squeezer, where once we get 8 coke dust, it gets pressed, extracted into this redstone furnace, cooked up into the HOP graphite ingots, and now we have 731 of them, which is wonderful. So we can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stacks, for example. And we can even grab the 27 that are in here, and we can then head on out. And I think I have one of these still empty. Yeah. Okay. So I did a few more things in between episodes other than just getting the HOP graphite ingots automated. But before I show you those, let's just get these guys blown up. I think I have one TNT somewhere left. Yeah. Okay. I have my flint and steel, and that should be fine. Okay, so I can easily make more TNT because I made a bunch more gunpowder in between episodes, which neither we have automated. The sawdust we have pretty much infinite amounts of. The only problem was the sulfur, and I decided to just make a bunch of blaze rods because we can easily make steel now with getting pulverized charcoal. So let's just head on in here for a moment. If I click like that, we're gonna place down the TNT, we're gonna drop all of you, and we'll light it up, and then we'll head on out. Boom. Oh yeah, stacking 34 diamond nuggets. Amazing. Okay, we might need HOP graphite ingots for some crafting recipes, but we'll get them eventually. But diamond nuggets are hella important. So in the quest book here, I believe it's in the infinite tiny space. Yeah, we can now make an enchanting table. Ooh, okay. I set up this thing, which also I can do this. I grab the lava from here, I toss it in here, and then it automatically makes obsidian. Because not the only way to make obsidian is the induction, the igneous extruder. It's just a barrel with water on top. And then you pump in lava and it turns into obsidian. So I have 297 obsidian now. Cool. And before we start crafting everything with diamond nuggets, let me slow down a tiny bit. And in here, I set up some decay generators because these make uranium blocks, and also I think there's a chance that it turns into a thorium block, which we have gotten a few before. I think I have them here in a chest somewhere. Yeah, I have 2 thorium blocks, and these under a crucible are 61 times speed for producing lava, which is really great. And we possibly might not need more than 2. It should probably make lava really, really quickly. But if you look at the crucible, there's plenty of blocks that you can put underneath. You have like americium, I assume, 243. That's 100 times speed. You have berkelium 247, which is 600 times speed. But getting those is a whole lot of process with getting tiny clumps from depleted fuels, and you have to go through different types of fuel to get all of those, which is a lot of complications with nuclear craft that I probably won't get into. But yeah, so also I changed a little bit of our power. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of tiny compact machines right here, and each one of them has the thermoelectric generators. So I spent a bit of time processing Constantan and making steel and making uranium blocks, but we now are producing, I think, around 3,700-ish or so power. It's, I think, 16 times 240. 3,840 RF per tick is what we're making currently with passive thermoelectric generators. And I think that is going to be sufficient for the time being for running a refined storage system and running a bunch of the machines that we're going to still set up in the future. And we probably won't run into power issues. So the reactor that I designed in between episodes in the creative world, we might not set it up today because I don't think it will be necessary. But if I have time, we'll get to it. I have also made another 9x9 compact machine. And what we can get into now is this. So we need one redstone torch and one of these. And we can get ourselves miniaturization field projectors. We can now come down here. We can grab our large compact machine. It's going to go right here. We can head on inside. And we can set this up. Place it here. Aha, there we go. Yeah. So it's the... I think we can go like this. And then like this. And like that. Does it make it on the floor? No. Okay, it has to be one lower. Now that we have the miniaturization field, we can place down the obsidian like so. And then we place a redstone block in the middle and an obsidian on top. And then I believe we just toss in one piece of redstone dust. We can make ourselves ender pearls. Slightly loud. That's okay. Boop. Says unfamiliar item. You do not know how to use this yet. You need stage freedom first. Oh. Is it gonna turn into an ender pearl now? No. Did get an ender pearl. I don't know what stage freedom I would need. I don't know. But maybe we can use it in a crafting recipe, hopefully. Let's see if we could craft with this unfamiliar item, but we're gonna grab 7 porcelain clay, and then we're gonna turn that, plus the glitch tiny machine and unfamiliar item, unfired crucible. It works in a crafting recipe. Okay, so we can then do that, grab the crucible, and we can, let's say, grab our this. Let's see how fast this is. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna grab a hopper. I think I have some somewhere. Hopper. This might not be fast enough, but we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna grab you. Boom. Oh, it is fast enough. But that is lava made significantly faster than this magma crucible is doing. So we're gonna do this. And then I have a bit of hardened fluid ducts, and we can grab a servo, put you here, and then servo it out. Aha, we're making lava. The really strong part that I have about ender pearls, right, is we can use those in an alloy furnace to make pulsating iron. And 1 pulsating iron turns into 9 pulsating iron nuggets, and 9 of those nuggets turn into 3 of those nuggets turn in item conduits. And we can then build with our lovely item conduits and make everything work better and faster. The only thing that we don't have access to now, and I think I might wait on the item conduits for just a little bit, is glowstone. Because glowstone is required in making power conduits, right? The simple one is going to have a max output of 640. Which is going to become a problem once we have machines that can produce, that are going to use more than 640 RF. And this one has 5,120, which is plenty and more than we need. But for that, we need energetic alloy. Energetic alloy requires energetic blend. Energetic blend is glowstone dust. And for that, we need the whole fluid transposer over cryotheum with energized glowstone. And energized glowstone is the whole neutron irradiator with the stabilized redstone and neutron fluid is made in the fusion reactor. So all that is gonna have to wait. To make placing all of those ender pearl obsidian bits easier, we're just gonna make ourselves another clipboard, and then we can make ourselves a copy paste gadget once I grab 1 bit of lapis. Boom. And we probably should get into a flux capacitor. I think. Sulfur. I think I have still. Do I not have? Haha, sulfur. I remember. There we go. This. And this one requires cryotheum. Okay, so that's maximum that we can get. And how I don't think I can put this directly into an energy cell or grab power directly out. So I think I might need, yeah, we need an infuser, I think. This guy, right? Yeah. So energetic infuser, we're gonna toss you here, toss this guy inside, and then we're gonna give you a harden upgrade kit, this kit, and then bam, bam, bam. And I think the infuser has an augment, which allows for rechargeable items to be charged very rapidly. Because I don't know, we can use it for Flux Phytogrow at some point. Yeah, we're gonna need it for that. But I think for the time being, oh, it's very slow. But that'll just drain through my power instantly. This has 100,000 RF, so what we'll do is just do this and then turn you on. And we can then, I think, V charging all items. There we go. This one's charged, so we should be fine, and we can toss you in here to do your thing. And I think I can come over in here now. We can set up the obsidian platform. Like that, and we can then, I think you right click and right click. There we go. Area copied, and then I have to press G and we can put paste, right? So if we now toss in one piece of redstone, we can then look at paste and we can press G, edit placement, Y2 up, okay. Makes an ender pearl, we collect it, we can then right click and toss another redstone. And that makes making ender pearls super duper easy. To make refined storage processors, you need processor binding, which normally requires slime, but in this pack, it requires porcelain clay, which means that we need to automate clay and bone meal. It is gonna happen soon, but for the time being, I have 65 of each here, so we can make 65 porcelain clay, and we can turn that into 65 processor binding. And we're gonna turn a little bit of that into a row processor binding, which we need silicon for. And can I get silicon any other way other than smelting? We can put sand through the manufactory. That is cheaper than using nether quartz. Do I have another manufactory? I do. Any more space? Space. Okay, so sand should have in here. Boom, boom, make me silicon. Get some speed upgrades. I have all of them in here. I remember now. One comment. This doesn't require energy, right? So you make a stack of speed upgrades. You can toss them in here. And that significantly speeds up the creation of the whole thingy, this normal compact machine. It reduces the 500 seconds to a lot less. And I should have probably noticed that in the last episode, but I didn't, which is okay. So let's try 4 of these. That's 100. Another 4 is 180. Let's go 16. 340. Yeah, we're producing power plenty. 20. Should be fine. Eventually, we'll get some silicon. Let's wait till we get 16. There we go. And we can now turn that into these. I'm just gonna make one for the time being. Get it smelted, because that's one thing that we need for the quest, I believe. Yeah, advanced processor. Cool. We need to make some quartz enriched iron, which is just some quartz and some iron. So let's grab 21 of these and then 3 of these and then a stack of quartz. Boom. Can grab that off and then we can get ourselves some quartz enriched iron once we turn this into ingots. And of course it went in here instead of in my inventory. This. Boom, boom. All right. And we can then make a machine casing. That's just some stone, I believe. Can grab that. Machine. Where are you? There you are, machine casing. Nice. And we can then make controller, grid, and disk drive. So controller. This is gonna make us a grid. And we can turn that grid into a crafting grid really quickly. I will wait till it is detected. There we go. And crafting grid. And then we just need a disk drive, which is just one of these. And that should be it. Cool. Nice. So I need somewhere to put it and move some machines around. So for the time being, we're just gonna move this guy over. We're gonna add a controller here, disk drive, remove this, and we're at our crafting grid, and we have a refined storage system. So the next step is to make some storage parts, which the level 1 ones just require silicon. So we can add more sand to our manufactory to get made into another stack of silicon. And we can probably set up some sort of automated way at some point to make that. But 7's gonna do for the time being. We can turn those into 2 4Ks. And then I need a little bit more of the silicon. There we go. We can make a couple more of these. 1, 2. Make another 4K. And that's gonna make ourselves a 16K. And I think that might be it for now that we can make, because making the 64K is going to require a whole bunch more of these, and I only have 23 processor bindings. So the next step would be to automate the whole sifting process of sand and getting bone meal and clay fully automated. Out of the 56 of those processor bindings, we made 2 16K storage disks, and we almost filled up one. We're currently, I believe, producing bronze in here, and I set up an importer so it imports everything that we smelt, because we kind of really want it in the system anyway. So I think it's time that we automate the process of making bone meal and also clay. So I cleaned up my 7x7 compact machine, and we can set this up in here possibly. And what I want to do is I want to put an igneous extruder right here. And then what we can do is we can put a cache here. That is not the one that I want. But we're going to put a cache right here. And I don't know how this guy is going to split items, because I want to have cobblestone generated over here as well. But if we put a crucible here, and if we then put a pulverizer right here, we can't give you power. So I think, yeah, we're gonna raise everything up by 1, because we can put conduits or ducts on the bottom then, and we can have the power come to the bottom. But we can set up this here, okay? So I'm gonna figure out how I wanna have the duct. So we're gonna use signalum plated, and we can probably put the tunnel right underneath here, because from the crucible, we're gonna extract out of here, and we can put it into a tank, because I want to store lava as well. So what we can do is we can do that, bring it over, and then on the bottom we can extract it into a barrel, or maybe just like this. We can extract it into the barrel, and then we put it into a cache with obsidian. Where is my obsidian cache? Empty obsidian. Boom. And that will be in the center. And here on this side, we're going to take the cobblestone, pulverize it into gravel, which is going to go into this cache. And then we can extract it into this pulverizer, which is going to make sand. We can put it into here. Then we can extract it out into this pulverizer, which is going to make dust. And we can put it into here. And then the dust, we then need to put into an auto clicker with a sieve. And we also need to put it in a barrel with water to make clay blocks. And then we can grind those clay blocks into clay balls. So I'll figure out how we want to put all of this around here. If I only have this igneous extruder set to output to all 3 sides here, the pulverizer isn't getting cobblestone fast enough. So I added a duct here on top to extract the cobblestone and stock it directly from the cache, which works beautifully. We then extract, or we directly output the sand to the bottom and the gravel to the right side. So gravel goes in here and sand makes its way into this cache. And then here in the back, I have a servo and an item duct that extracts the gravel into this guy. I still need to figure out where we're going to store the flint. And then the sand gets pulled into this pulverizer by the auto input, and the dust gets stored in here. And I believe we're currently producing gravel and sand only as fast as we're processing it into dust. But eventually, once dust fills up, and we probably are going to be creating it faster than we are going to be using it to crush it into bone meal and to make the clay. So essentially, at some point, we should get a backstuffing on sand and a backstuffing on gravel, which we're going to need for a couple of recipes in the future. So the lava portion and obsidian portion works simply by this guy outputting into the crucible. It gets it stocked up with cobblestone. This guy pulls the lava into the tank, out of the tank, into the barrel, and out of the barrel it gets retrieved into the cache with the obsidian. And once we have 20,000 obsidian, the lava is going to back up into this tank and then into the crucible, and that should be perfectly fine. To automate clay, I added a wooden barrel with a compact infinite water source up top, which fills it up with water, and then I have a reinforced retriever here retrieving one item at a time into the barrel, a servo extracting it into the back, putting it into this cache, then we push it into the pulverizer, or pull it, I should say, automatically, and then we pull it into here to store clay balls. The next thing that we do is we sift the dust using this auto clicker on the bottom of a sieve with a string mesh, and the reinforced retriever is set to keep 32 in the inventory and extract one at a time, which kind of makes it that we send dust over and then it can't go in and it gets sent back, which is kind of the only thing that I dislike about these item ducts. So then there is a accumulator here in the back that collects the bone meal and the sulfur and puts it into these two caches and stores it for me very nicely. And what we can do later on is we can add external storages here on top of all of these caches and have everything visible inside of our storage system. One thing that we can do that will greatly increase the efficiency of our sifter is enchant the sieve, because we can now make an enchantment table. If we go here, we can make this. The problem here is we don't have bookshelves, and this is going to have just level 1 enchants, which isn't a good thing. And for bookshelves, we need a whole bunch of leather, and for a whole bunch of leather, we need a whole bunch of this pressed off thing, which is going to mean that we need a whole bunch of sewage, which means that we need a whole bunch of poop, and poop can be made in the fluid transposer with one bioblend to turn into 2 poop, and we only use 200 millibuckets of sewage. So we can set this sort of system up, and what we can do is we can come into our garden close room here, and we can simply pull the... Where do we have power? I think we have power up top somewhere, and we can easily bring it up to here, but we can... Yeah, maybe we do this. We put the sawmill up here, and then we need to bring in the power that we have back there. We can grab ourselves a flux duct. This should connect to the other one as well, I think. Yeah. So you should get power. And we can then upgrade you like this and give you, hello, a couple of these. And we can then put up a cache here. And I have 3,000 something potato carrots. And we can just set auto input, bottom, output right. We can get pulp biomass that way. Cool. We could then potentially extract it with a tunnel and put it into a outside of our compact machine, because this guy is right over here, and we can then extract it into another compact machine, maybe this way or something, in which we set up the other thing. But I'm thinking for the time being, we can just do this manually. We are going to need to automate it at some point. But just to get the amount of leather that I need for the enchanting table, or for the bookshelves for the enchanting table, I think we'll do it manually for now, and we can automate it in a different episode. I was looking for a fluid placer, but it looks like there isn't any outside of refined storage, and for the time being, we can just do this, toss a stack of paper in there, and then I can hold on right click with this, and basically transform all of that into press stop, so we can get 45 leather, so we can make a full level 30 enchanting table. I will make the Tome of Knowledge anyway, because that can at least store our XP that we get, so if we die we don't lose it. And the Tome of Knowledge then unlocks Pure Bliss if we make ourselves a Glacial Precipitator, like so. That should unlock snowballs. So I have water here, and we need power. There we go. Maybe we can do a couple of these. We're making snowballs now. Awesome. And we need the whole thing to get... Okay, so we... It's so weird, because you need to make the fusion reactor if you want to unlock everything down there. But what we can do is we can actually make, I think, packed ice with this. And I think packed ice is a better block to put next to the thermoelectrics to get even more power, which is kind of cool. So I might just leave this be to do its thing and get us a bunch of packed ice. And then in between episodes, I might go replace it in all of the compact machines. So the only resort for XP is this. I made a nuclear furnace. I think it's radiating us a little bit by working here, but we could use a redstone furnace, but I believe this is a little bit faster. And what I just have is the hopper on the underneath locked. We could pretty much just remove this because it doesn't need to be a thing. But the sad part is that in 1.13 is when this got changed. So the furnaces would store XP even if they pull items out with a hopper. And that way we could just smelt like 20,000 cobblestone and pull out one set of XP and get a bunch of levels. But this way we just have to do this. Now that a little bit of bone meal has been produced, we're just gonna grab as much as we can out of here. We can toss that back, and then we can grab 7 stacks of clay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we can then head on out. Toss all of it in here, like so. Boom, 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 boom. And make a whole bunch of porcelain clay, and then I have to go grab a butt ton of string. And we can then turn that string into processor bindings, and we can get a whole bunch of them. 7 stacks. Awesome. So we can then make ourselves some processors. We can just make a stack of iron. And I need to automate the process of making silicon, or at least kind of manually set something up for the manufactory for the time being. And setting it here is a bit wonky. How do we want to do this? It's gonna be just weird if it's up here. This should suffice, so if we toss a bunch of sand in here, it should get in here and get processed into silicon and then come out on the other side. Cool. I have decided to rework the room a little bit. I basically made it in a way where we are just producing sulfur and bone meal and clay, and that's pretty much it. We're not gonna have anything hooked up to any sort of cache to store any sort of dust or sand or anything, even though we're kind of producing sand faster than we're using it, which we can tune here in the manufactories to not use too much power. I think we can set this guy on 8 as well, because then it uses 180 instead of, I think, 280 or something power, and it's still, I think, producing sand faster than the pulverizer is processing it. So I think it's fine. We're pretty much almost full on clay. And we have another 146 bone meal, which is nice. And at some point, once we get this guy enchanted, we can increase the bone meal production much more. So what I want to do is split this room into 2. So I can set up another layer, and the floor is actually going to come up to here, I think. So we can remove that elevator, pick it up from here, and we can set it up right there. And we can pretty much remove this floor and set up a different floor up top. You know what Yeah, this has to be the ceiling. And if we wanted to have the floor, yeah, it's going to be just 2 blocks in between. I think it's fine. Yeah. Any hoozle. The way this works is we have power coming in from the same spot. And then I have 2 servos extracting each one corresponding to the sand cache over here. And then I have a item duct with a servo in each corner that extracts into the pulverizer. And the reason I'm using manufactories is because it skips a step. It goes from cobblestone directly to sand. And at some point we're going to set up a pulverizer for gravel, because I want to have a store of gravel at anyway. So maybe we'll set up one compact machine that's just going to be our cobbleworks, where it has an infinite amount of cobble, an infinite amount of sand, an infinite amount of gravel, an infinite amount of flint, an infinite amount of whatchamacallit, glass and silicon, all of that good stuff. And that's going to happen in the future because it's always nice to have. And basically this line here is just dragging water from here, and we're using a fluid transposer to turn dust into clay. instead of a barrel. Even though this uses power, it's 20 RF per tick, and I think I need to do an input on the bottom. There we go. Yeah, this guy had a backlog of dust. And I could increase this, but we're not producing water faster than this is processing, so there is no need. Even though this is a dense infinite water source, I believe the item duct is currently the issue. But at least it works. We almost are full on clay anyway, so it should be fine. And yeah, now I can just cover all of this up like so. And I'm using compact machine walls because I kind of like the look of this inside, and we're going to use those around here in the future as well. We can just cover all of this up on top as well, like so. I could be placing structural ducts and then covers, because that would be cheaper, but we can make compact machine walls no problem with 1 iron and 1 redstone, and we have infinite amounts of both of those. So up top here, we're gonna set up the floor here. So I think we should just have a double layer floor. I think it should be fine. So we're gonna set up something like this, and I'm actually gonna clean this out on the edge, because here I want to set up lava production and also obsidian production, and I think I will split them up into 2 parts, kind of like I did with the bottom side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab ourselves some item ducts, and I don't think we need power for this. No, because it's just crucibles, right? So we can have a crucible here, getting cobblestone with an output. Hello. Oh, that's just the cache, right? With a servo then, up top here, like so. And that should pull cobble directly into here. We can set up another crucible here, and then one side can produce obsidian, one side can produce lava. The lava and obsidian portion is automated, and I totally forgot that nuclear craft has cobblestone generators, which just make the Ignix extruder obsolete, because that one uses power and this one is just for free. And so we have one over here providing cobblestone to both of the crucibles. Then we have a fluid duct extracting the lava into the barrel. As soon as it gets full, makes obsidian, turns it into the cache here with an item duct. And here we have 3 fluid ducts extracting the lava into the tank, so we have lava on demand all the time. And down here I have also replaced the Ignix extruder with the cobblestone generator because it's just better. I was totally wondering why all of my in-game sounds are slightly lower, and I totally forgot I made ear defenders from immersive engineering, which makes everything a slightly bit quieter. But anyway, this is gonna have to be it for today, so I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'm hoping you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, and you can also subscribe to see new videos, and you can support me on Patreon as well if you want. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.